Good morning! Welcome to my amazing readathon week 1 vlog. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever participating in the amazing readathon. It's a competitive reading challenge essentially that is loosely based on the Amazing Race, and I know little to nothing about it. So we're gonna be figuring it out in this vlog together. So far the only thing I can gather by reading and watching the videos, I'll link the announcement video down below if you're interested. It's hosted by For Positive Book. I think her name is Brianna. I've also just recently discovered her channel, so we're all learning together, y'all. Anyways, from what I've gathered, there are like 10 different stops on our way to one final destination that is yet to be known. I think we find out when we get there. But the first stop, the first leg of the race is in Oz, and in Oz there's one prompt, so you have to read for that prompt, and then there are some additional sightseeing prompts that you can read for extra points after you've read the prompt for the location where we're at. So right now in Oz, we have to read a book that has green on the cover, or with a green cover, and I don't have any of those except for a 800 book chunker, and I don't know if I am ready yet to take on an 800 page book, nor do I think that would be a good idea for the very first prompt in a competitive readathon. So I am actually gonna go today and do a birthday book haul at the bookstore, and I will do my best to grab a green book. If not, I'll grab one at the library on my way back home. So I've just left church, and it's kind of funny because the theme was Fruit of the Spirit, and I'm literally wearing the fruitiest pants I own. So on brand, you know what I mean? Anyways, I am looking for food, and I Googled places near me, and I realized that Flor de Mayo is like a block away from my new church location. And this is a Peruvian restaurant, and I think it may have some kind of Asian fusion, I'm not sure. Either way, they have this really good dish called lomo salteado, and this place, I'm telling you, the food is freaking amazing. So the fact that it's so close, my wallet is already screaming at me. Anyways, I'm gonna eat there, and I'm excited because Katie Colson just dropped her announcement video for her Sunrise on the Reaping readathon, which I already signed up for, even though I haven't watched the announcement video yet. But you know, I already know that I'm gonna participate in it because I love my girl Katie, and I loved the book Sunrise on the Reaping. It was everything. So I'm gonna go eat, watch the announcement video, and then bookstore is like a 3-minute walk from here. Isn't that bananas? Like the world just conspired on my behalf. Life is amazing right now, guys. Hello, happy day 2 of the readathon. I have yet to even pick up my green book. I've decided on Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I have this cover that has a lot of green on it. The issue is that I ended last month reading Problematic Summer Romance for a vlog, and so I think I'm gonna try to focus on finishing that today, and then we're gonna try to get into Oz within 24 hours. And I'm kind of scared because Salem's Lot for some reason didn't look that chunky before, but now it's starting to look a little spooky. We'll see. I am running, I want to say like 15 minutes behind schedule, and I just like refuse to run. I woke up very late today. I stayed up late reading. Time to begin. I am actually, if you see steam, it's because I'm steaming my face. Every Tuesday night, I have a spa night in my house. So I put on my fancy robe. I even bought, like, I'm obsessed with these. I did this for like a girls' night, and I had a bunch of leftovers. So I have these like funny little spa sandals. I'm obsessed with these. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, they're so comfy and cozy. But yeah, if you see steam, it's because I'm doing the steaming of my face so I can put like a little mask on. I am about to start my Oz book, which is going to be Salem's Lot by Stephen King. And it has to be a book that is primarily green. And I feel like this is giving green vibes, right? Well, I asked in the Discord and people said it counted, so it counts. Y'all, I can't tell you what happened in that last clip. I was so focused on doing my little spa day, skincare, whatever, because the way that my skin is breaking out and like literally not healing, I don't understand what's going on. I feel like my skin is trying to be a visual representation of my rapidly deteriorating mental state. I don't know what's going on, but I just like, I was so focused on that and I never came back and actually finish what I was saying. So that was an abrupt ending, but I was saying that Stephen King's Salem's Lot is going to be the book that gets me to the destination of Oz. I'm actually filming a dedicated vlog for this book, so I probably won't give you guys too many updates because I have something in the works, okay? Anyways, this readathon is actually much more interactive, and like there's a lot of like different things that come up throughout the readathon. So like 2 days ago we got something called a roadblock, and basically it was like a quick social media challenge, and then the following day we actually got a prompt asking us, because the first destination was Oz, right? So we were asked if we wanted to get on the train or wanted to face the wizard. I forget what she called this. It was a detour. But yeah, I'm feeling very excited and like not so much to read, but more so to like be in my journal. This one person on Discord made these very cool like little boarding pass looking things, and I just felt so like inspired by it. I also like, you know, I made a fake passport in my journal and stuff. I'll put like a little flip through while I'm talking, but it just like has me like really amped and excited. And I think it all started with like the little postcards and stuff. And I like the fact that we are visiting lots of like different fictional worlds, which is really cool and has me like amped. So far, I've known the 2 that we've visited, so I'm really hoping that I'm familiar with the others, because I was just having such a good time like making the little boarding passes and like adding details from the book. So today we actually moved on to leg 2 of the travels, and the second location is Besties War College, which is from 4th Wing, and I just like, I was really amped to create the little visuals in my journal and stuff. So like honestly, that's mostly what I spent a lot of my time today doing, and I haven't read anything at all. But I do know the next book that I want to pick up. I just have to figure out what prompt it would fall into. But essentially the book is called The Glittering Edge by Alyssa Valaire, and this book is essentially about these like 2 long-standing families, the DeLucas and the Berrien family. And basically the DeLucas are known for being witches and the Berrien family are known for being wealthy, and they just have like this long-standing feud with each other because the DeLucas cursed the Barian, and if a Barian falls in love, then that person that they fell in love with passes away. But then the main character, Penny, her mom is the most recent victim of the curse, and she's about to be unalived, but she decides to make it her mission to save her mom, and so she has to unite two people, one from each of these families, in order to try to break this curse and save her mom. And that is the tea. This is a YA book, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I'm intrigued to find out. And I also don't know what prompt this is gonna fit for, but we'll see. I haven't done a lot of reading in this vlog. It's so bad. I also just found out that because we moved on and we're in besties, I have to read the green book, and then I also have to read the prompt that gets me to besties before I can read any of the like sightseeing prompts for either location. And now I feel like I'm scrambling to get all caught up to where we are in the readathon, and that is spooky scary skeletons. I got this though. I believe in myself. I don't know what I'll read tonight, but pray for me and for my skin. Oh, a random update that nobody asked for. My plants are growing. I just saw the little disco ball in the background, and I the other day put some seeds in for these Cracker Jacks. They're like these flowers, marigold Cracker Jack something. It was like a really long complicated name. And then I also planted some cilantro seeds, and those haven't sprouted yet, but the flowers are coming in strong. And I'm really bad with plants. I've killed almost every plant I own. This pothos is literally hanging on by a thread, y'all. So pray for my plants. Hey friends, I'm literally just came back from the park and I'm sweating my underpants off. Like, it's so hot. I got a lot of reading done. I'm really excited. I joined some sprints and I sat outside in the park, touched some grass, and then I came home and I have book mail. So we're gonna open some book mail and then I'll give you guys some updates on what I've been reading, because I read a lot. Okay, first I have my fairy loot box for the month. So this book, wow. I love these colors. That's so pretty. Wow, 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 wow. I think this is the most gorgeous book they've done this year. Then this one is the YA book for the month. The other one was adult. These are really pretty books this month. And another original cover I'm not a huge fan of. Oh my god, I just realized Rachel Gillig. Is that the author who wrote One Dark Window? I think so. And then book of the month. I got 3 books this month because I had 1 credit from skipping last month. I got Next to Heaven. Then I had a credit from this month, which I got King of Ashes. And then I got a free birthday credit because it's my birthday month. And I got The Ghostwriter. It's gonna be a very thrilling month for me. And then my bookmark, it says, "Hi, I'm Mark." That's it for the haul, y'all. So like I said, I went to the park and I was sprinting and I was reading Salem's Lot by Stephen King, and I read 160 pages on those sprints, which is bananas. But also, how did I not notice that I picked a 751 page book to start off a readathon? Like, I can't even get into the games because I'm still stuck on this book and it's so freaking long. But that's okay. I'm on page 260, so I have about 500 pages left. I can do it before the end of the week. It's Thursday. In 2 days, I can do it. I can do it. Then I did at some point say I was going to pick up The Glittering Edge, and I did. I am about 36% into this book, and it's okay. I don't know. It's just the actual story of it is really interesting. I am enjoying the fact that there's like this vibe between the characters where we're like, is this a romance right here? Is it a love triangle? Maybe. We don't know. I'm excited to find out. I hope it is because I love those. But one of these is definitely a little jelly. And I am pretty interested in kind of learning about the lore of like how the magic works, and the characters are starting to pick up and figure out like clues as to what they have to do to break this curse. So I am enjoying this book. Why can't I English? However, I cannot see this being any more than 3 stars at the point where I'm at. Like, something really like plot twisty would have to happen for me to rate this any higher than that. I think I will finish it just because I'm almost halfway through, and like I said, it could potentially be 3 stars. To me, that's a pretty good rating for a book. It's just not a great one. It's good. So, plus I could use this for my Oz prompt to get 250 points. You have to read a special edition book, and that's this one. So that's what I will do. Although I'm hearing that I can't submit any of the additional prompts until I read the original prompt that gets you to the destination. So in order to get to Oz, I have to read a book with a green cover. So I have to finish Salem's Lot, and then we moved on to a different destination, which is Bisgayeth, and I also have to read the book that gets me to Bisgayeth before I can go back and submit this book for my Oz sightseeing. And this readathon, honestly, it's starting to get a little complicated, the rules, but it's kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie to you. And also like the sheer panic that I'm having right now trying to catch up, I don't know what it says about me, but it's kind of exciting. And speaking of, I started to do a little bit of like strategic planning for these locations. So my goal is to read 3 books per location. So the original prompt book, and then 2 of the like sightseeing prompts we have. And so for Oz, would like to try reading The Glittering Edge and The Unworthy, because there's the prompt of read a special edition and then read a book with a face on the cover. And I think a statue's face is a face on the cover. That'll be for Oz. And then I have 2 books for Bisgayeth, along with the book that gets me to Bisgayeth, which is a book with a violent word on the cover. And I think for that, I'll read Guillotine by Delilah Bloom. I think that should be a pretty quick read. I'm learning my lesson, but maybe not, because then for a book with a map in it, I'm thinking about Silver Elite. And this book is also a chunky monkey. This is 511 pages. Holy guacamole. And then for the prompt that says read a book that does not have a, an, or the in the cover, I have Problematic Summer Romance by Ellie Hazelwood, which I actually started at the beginning of this week, if you'll remember, and I am 334 pages in, so that should be an easy one. You know what I mean? The only problem is that per my calculations, if there's 10 legs and we have to read all 10 of those prompt books by the end of the month, there's 30 days in a month. That means each leg will be about 3 days. So that's giving that tomorrow is probably going to be like 3. And then I'm going to have to read a book for whatever that destination is before I can read any of these 4 books that I just planned out. So we're not panicking at all. This is fine. I'm going to go read. Feels like I was just talking to you. Probably because I have not slept. I did finish Salem's Lot though. Gave it 3.75 stars. It was a pretty good book. I just didn't give it 4 stars because I feel like it wasn't as good as Carrie. But I might change it to 4. I had a really good time. I was very excited. I really like Stephen King's writing, especially his earlier stuff. I haven't read any of the new stuff, so we'll see how I feel about that when we get there. But anyways, we've moved on. I am reading for the book with a violent word on the cover, and for that I chose Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson. I keep confusing her and saying Delilah Bloom, but I think the last book I read from her was Bloom. So I read the description for this book and I'm kind of mad at myself because I feel like it gives away a little bit too much. So what I will tell you is that the main character decides to date this guy, and she only wants to date him because his mom has connections in the fashion world and that's where she wants to work and get a job from his mom. So he invites her over for Easter. She goes to their big, rich, lovely home, and things take a really dark turn. I'll leave it there. Let's get into it. The last day of the week. It is Saturday. What can I say? I have not done much progress, I think, from the last time I updated. I am 66% of the way through Guillotine by Delilah Dawson, and I am surprised. This book took like a random turn that I really wasn't expecting, and I should have known this, okay, because I read Bloom by her and it was a horror book, and this one was reading more like a thriller, and then we got to like the 50% mark and all of a sudden it was just very gory, and I was like, whoa, this is definitely not a thriller at all. Yeah, it's just very gory. I was shook and surprised, but I am still, I don't want to say I'm having a great time. There's a squirrel fighting with a tree branch over there. I'm sitting in this like little park thing by my house. So we have 2 gardens, one up on top of the roof of the garage and then one like down here next to our parking lot. But the problem is that there's always like so many bees, and they're like really big chunky bees, like this huge, and so you can never just sit and enjoy the gardens. And there's all these like benches and stuff, like it could be really cute but it's not. Sadness. But we do have this little, like, I don't know what it is, it's like a open ground, like the kids come here and they play on their scooters and stuff. A dog park maybe, I don't know what this is, to be honest. Either way, it's crazy how this all exists in the city, right? Like, I'm so blessed to have all of this in my home. Now if we could just get rid of the bees. Thank you very much. Anyways, to not get off topic, I think once the book got like to the 50% mark and it got very gory and like we're getting chased by these, I don't want to say, because I don't want to ruin it. It is in the summary, but I highly suggest that you do not read the summary going into this book, because it ruins like the surprise aspect of it. Like, it really does say too much. But I will say that once we are revealed what it is, it's actually causing the like dark turn in this book, there's not really like anything else to look forward to. I think like there's no like reveal. It's really more like how's she gonna get out of this situation, and so that for me kind of lowers my enjoyment of the book a little bit. But the one good thing about these books by this author is that they are really quick reads, and so I'm already like 66% through. I have like 10 chapters. Each chapter is like less than 10 minutes, so I'm gonna fly by the rest of this book, and then I'm gonna pick up my next book for the next location, which was revealed yesterday. I'm so excited. But let's finish Bloom first, and I would really love to try and finish my book for the next leg today as well, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm gonna go upstairs. I just came from the gym, so I'm gonna go upstairs and make some food because the girl's hungry. Yeah. Now we've come to the end of the vlog. Still I can't let go. Y'all, what's the tea here? I started many books this week. Let's do a little roundup, should we? I first started Problematic Summer Romance, and I got to page 334. Did not finish it, but I should be able to finish this in like a day, you know what I mean? But we had to move on to the prompts for this readathon, so it's okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work out eventually. Then I picked up The Glistening Edge, and hear me out. I sold my physical copy and it's already like sealed up and ready to go, so I don't have it anymore, but I promise that I will finish the audiobook. We're at like 50% of it, which also shouldn't really take that long. That was like an easy book, but it also just wasn't fitting the prompts, so we moved on. I did, however, finish this chunky bad boy, Salem's Lot, and we had a great time. I'm about to watch the movie as soon as I hit end on this video clip. What a time to be alive, both you and yours versus me and mine. I don't know where that came from. Lastly, I just finished Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson, and that one actually did match my second prompt, which was to read a book with a violent word in the cover. Oh, Salem's Lot was for a book with primarily green on the cover. So we made it to Oz with Salem's Lot, and then we made it to Bisgayeth with Guillotine. She's a guillotine. I'm feeling so silly right now. What do I think about Guillotine? I haven't told you guys my thoughts. It did not get better since the last time that I updated y'all. It was just honestly gore from there on. There was no sense, rhyme, or reason to any of the stuff. It was just gross, and that's the tea. I did enjoy the first half though, so I ended up giving it 3 stars, but like I don't really have much else to say about that book. It was quick and fast to read though, so if you want to get a book in for the numbers, go off. But about the quality, I don't know. It's not something that I guess I would recommend, to be honest. Bloom by the same author was much more interesting, which I feel like I keep talking about that book, but yeah, that's where we're at. It is pretty late in the evening, and I don't think I'll get anything else read for the rest of the day, so let's end here. I guess you'll have to watch next week to find out what the next location is and what I read. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, leave a vampire emoji. Make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to join the family, hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all when I see you next. Bye.